Hello guys, and welcome back to the DocMack car channel. And today what I'm going to show you is how to determine if you've got a bad mass airflow sensor in your engine. So basically on your vehicle you've got air, spark and fuel to complete the workings of the engine. Now where a mass airflow sensor is concerned is air and fuel. So if you follow your intake system, which is in the front of the vehicle, going all the way here past the airbox, and if you look right here before it goes into the intake plenum, you've got what's called a mass airflow sensor. So this is your mass airflow sensor right here, and it's got an electrical plug right here. Now if this one goes bad, you'll have issues starting your car. It might start, it might shudder, and then it might actually turn off by itself, and you'll have a lot of engine running issues because you will actually feel a lot of shudder and the engine will run like crap. So what I'm going to show you today is how to determine if you've got a bad mass airflow sensor and what you can do to try to diagnose the issue. So without further ado, let's get into it, but consider subscribing if you haven't already. Alright guys, so the best way to determine if you have a mass airflow sensor issue is to have one of these fancy scan tools, and it's no more than $100. However, not everyone has a scan tool, so I'm going to show you how to do it for free. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the engine, and then we're going to see what happens next. So the engine is currently running, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug the mass airflow sensor. Alright, you can see that the engine cut off when I unplugged the connector to the mass airflow sensor. What that means is that my mass airflow sensor is actually working. Now if the engine continued to run after I unplugged this, that would mean that your mass airflow sensor is quite faulty. So let me show you what happens when I try to turn over the engine with it unplugged. Alright guys, so as you can see, you now have the check engine light on. And let's see what that code is. So basically it will allow the engine to still run, but it's going to run like crap because it's going to put too much fuel into the engine or too little fuel into the engine. And basically what you've achieved by this test, when the engine is running, if I unplug my mass airflow sensor connection and the engine stops, then your mass airflow sensor is actually working. If the engine continues to run, then the mass airflow sensor is quite bad and it does need servicing or it does need replacement. So now let's see what sort of engine check codes that it actually threw up. Alright guys, I've got my scan tool here, which is a blue driver scan tool. And now what I'm going to do is, typically your OBD2 port will be plugged underneath the car. So I've got my OBD2 plugged in. I'm going to read the check engine light. Two pending codes, P0102, which means mass or volume airflow sensor A circuit low, which means it has lost contact with the mass airflow sensor. And what that is doing is it is actually giving false information, and then it is allowing the engine to still run, but it's either running too lean or too rich, which means it's either running too lean, which means less fuel, more air, or too rich means more fuel, less air. I got a P0102 and a P0113. Now that's when the check engine light actually came on. Now with a bad mass airflow sensor, you don't always have a check engine light, so that can actually just cause your car to run like crap, but you don't always have a check engine light. Now on most vehicles they will have a check engine light come on. So now let's see what you can possibly do to fix the issue before you invest in a new mass airflow sensor. Yep. Alright guys, so here is your mass airflow sensor, and typically you'll have two screws mounted into the intake hose. What you need to do first is clear off all the rubbish on top of it so that it doesn't fall into the intake system. Alright. And now what we're going to do is we're going to wiggle the airflow sensor out, like so. And if you look at it right here, this is your little pitot tube right here. I will put it in better sunlight right here. as you can see, where this thing is. And what I have here with me is the mass airflow sensor cleaner. Now what you can do is try cleaning your mass airflow sensor with this one. It might potentially fix your issue before you fork out money spending on a new mass airflow sensor. All right, so typically what you need to do, give the can a good shake. And what you're going to do is you're going to spray in to this little pitot tube right here, and then in here as well, and on the connections as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it a little low so that it doesn't spray all over the place. There you go. So you want to hit it really good. Hit it in here. And you want to hit it in here as well. Now the mass airflow sensor spray is quite strong. Let's see how far it sprays. I'm just going to spray it on the wood. As you can see, it's hit that one. So you just have to be careful when using it. Don't spray it in your eyes. Okay, so typically what you're going to do is you're going to leave it to air dry for about 30 minutes. And it's quite a hot day, so I'm going to leave this out and don't let any dust get into it, and then I'm going to refit it and we're going to see how it actually dries. Alright guys, so now that it's properly dried, we're going to refit it in here. What you want to typically do is clean around the edges as well. And as you can see, this product evaporates really fast, so it doesn't do any damage to your internals or electricals. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to fit it back in. And once it's fitted back in, it should kind of click in. You should hear it seat. And the screw holes have to line up. What you're going to do is put one screw in at a time. Oh, damn it. And you're going to line up the holes. Now, I did drop the screw, so don't do what I did there, but do the rest of what I did. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to plug this one back in. All right, now we're going to start up the vehicle and we're going to check if we have any issues and clear the check engine light. As you can see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear my pending codes, and as you can see, there are 0 pending codes right now. Alright guys, and that's how you determine a faulty mass airflow sensor on your vehicle. I've got that screw that decided to do a runner. Okay. So I've taken the car out for a drive and it runs beautifully, no issues at all. Now I did not have a faulty mass airflow sensor in the first place, but because I did mimic an issue, it did throw a check engine light and the car ran like crap. So after giving it a good clean, fitting it back, and then starting the car and clearing the check engine light, that now works. Now, for those of you who do not have a scanner to clear the check engine light, you can drive for about maybe 20 miles and the check engine light should clear itself if this issue is no longer pending. Alright guys, I hope that video has been useful and informative. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. It is completely free to subscribe, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up. That would be greatly appreciated, and also share this with your friends and comment down below, did this actually save you guys? Thanks guys, have a great day, bye.